This is Tacos Live with Jay and Jeff. Boys, how are we doing?
Woo! Fired up. What do you mean, how are we doing? We're fired up.
We have tacos. Tacos make everything better.
Absolutely.
We have tacos, and we have you with a great intro, and we have, more importantly, an amazing guest. We have the VP of all cool things at Clearmount, Kate, the Big Deal Plumber.
Woo!
Thank you for having me. I love this. I'm very excited. I mean, Taco Tuesday, you can't go wrong. And then chatting about my favorite things always works.
Always works.
Which reminds me, don't we have to do tacos up?
Oh, we do.
Absolutely.
We do a little cheers, a little quick tacos up, a little teaser. Kate has something pretty cool to show us.
Oh, and Kate's got something.
I know. I was not prepared with an actual taco because here in Canada, it's post-Thanksgiving and it's just leftovers. But I figured I could make an award for this. So here is my taco award for everything.
You win the award on Taco Tuesday, Kate Plummer. Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, this is the benefit about having production in-house is that I could just be like, I need a taco. And like thinking about all I could do. And I just like ran back, found a taco-ish shape kind of thing. And then was like, can you decorate this? And I need it in 10.
Wow.
So you know, I think this really does get the prize for most inventive taco on a rush.
Yeah.
Like, distributors want to know. So Kate, if a distributor wants to get something from you, can they call and say, can I get it in 10? Not days, but minutes?
Not really, because I hate rush jobs with a passion. Something goes wrong always with rush jobs, and it's always like, we just had a rush job go through that was super smooth, and then it was like after it shipped, because we're like, we shipped ahead of time, perfect, they go, it actually is going to arrive too early now, can you send us all the tracking, because now we need to individually contact people. And I was like,
oh boy, it's never enough.
I hate to rush off too, but I will see you guys near the end when we actually get to take a beautiful bite of those tacos. So I'll see you guys at the end.
Thanks, Brandon. Well, listen, let's dive into some of this amazing content. Thanks, Jeff. Glad you're here because, you know, that backdrop, dude, I'm loving that. That remake, it's a remodel of Bob's Burgers, for those who don't know. Kate picked it out. But Kate, we've got you on. Nobody wants to talk to us. They want to listen to you. You're a big deal. You're a rising star officially. What was that like to be, by the way, mentioned as one of PPB's rising stars?
You know what? It was fun. Like I think with everything going on with the pandemic, everyone just needs like a win. And this was like a big win for me. I was like, cool. And especially, like I always say this, is like we work with a small company. So and it's my family too. So they try and not recognize me because they all know that my ego is enormous and it needs to be fed a lot. And so the fact that the Rising Star is really cool, like, and it was fun and exciting. And, you know, afterwards I was like, I won it. And then you're like, oh, it's a big deal. I won too.
That's so great. I can just imagine. I can just imagine your family. It's like Jeff trying to take a shot at me or me taking, you know, we tease the ones we love, right? Isn't that how it works? Yeah.
Oh, completely. Yeah. No, when I came back, I have signs all over my wall in my office saying Rising Star, we're so proud. And then the day after, like it was announced officially, I posted on Twitter is like, my sister had put like construction in progress for widening of doors for Ego. And it's like, again, thank you for your support. I love it.
Well, I have not met your sister, I don't believe. Your twin sister, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I would get along with her just as fabulously as I get along with you. You are also a chef at Promo Kitchen. You're a pretty big deal. We tease about that all the time. But Kate, this is fun. I'm so glad you're able to join us. And Jeff is here. He'd like to remind us, we go where the tacos take us. And today they have taken us to you and to Clearmount. And this is a pretty epic logo. I don't know if this was a family design, if this has any meaning other than mountains and so on, and you're from the Great White North in Canada, but we like it. We love it. Tell us about it. Is there anything we should know?
No, literally just did a redesign. It's one of those, like, you wish it was more impactful and serious, and no, it's just mountains, clear. It's supposed to be bright, light, shiny.
Okay.
You know, all the things our awards are.
It works for me. Does it work for you, Jeff?
It works for me, and you know, we always like to touch on people's logos, and I don't know why you don't think this is great, because simple is good.
Yeah, simple is good. I was thinking the same thing, and you know what, Kate, too, it reminded me clear of the lucite of the acrylic that you often use. So, and mountains, I mean, sometimes we just need people to keep it straight and simple for guys like me.
Yeah, well, all of us have been in this industry long enough that you get kind of judgy about certain logos where you're just like, oh, that's a lot of colors. Like, oh, like especially before the technology had caught up with the graphic design. Like, you know how you'd see things and it'd be 12 colors and there'd be gradients and shadows and you're just like, you can't embroider that. Like, what are you thinking? And now it's kind of like, yeah, okay, we put it on the TGG, we're good, like, lay it out, we're perfect, instead of being like, how do I even break this apart to make it like screenable? And so that's a nice part. But I like our logo. There is gradients in it, but it can easily be made one color. So I am still a snob about logos and like, can you make it one color? What does it look like? Is it fun? Does it show kind of who you are? So it's always nice. And ours, you know, it's been around, we've probably had it like 15 years now. And
it clearly states what you do. It's an easy reminder. It's a great moniker or a symbol or an icon. I think you crushed it. I give credit to whoever it was. If it was your dad, home run. If it was a designer, home run.
Thank you. It was a designer, so we'll take it, because it's funny. Like, I mean, my parents bought the company over 30 years ago, and so the logo beforehand was, again, kind of mountains, but you know, everything just needs a little bit of an update. And this was, let me see if I've actually got an old version of our logo. Yeah, there. So up close.
Zooming in, I got it. Yeah, I like this version better. Well, you know what's cool too is that, you know, for those who don't know, and you just stated it, so thank you for reminding us, this is a family-owned business, and you are a supplier, and you are in Canada. So we are grateful for your time, grateful for your expertise, and that's what I want to kind of dive in on now. I saw something online that blew me away, and it was positive, by the way, and totally appropriate. It was your blog. It was this crazy blog of some of the crazy things that you have embedded. For those who don't know, one of the key takeaways of Clearmount, one of the key products is our embedments, right? Is that the technical term for it, where you are actually encasing a thing, an object in lucite, in acrylic. I wish we had more time to see that process. We don't, but I have one example, and it was kind of creepy. Jeff, I know this might blow you away, but really? People want to put bones inside? What is going on in Canada?
Oh, Jay, you sweet, simple man. This is the least creepy of the things we've done. To me, bones, bugs, sure, no problem, can do it. Not an issue. It's and actually I love these pieces too, because they're so, what these are is like, these are for the ROM, which is the Royal Ontario Museum here. And what they are their specimens. And as my contact that we work with, she's like, these are like the C&D specimens. So they're the ones where they'll never make it to an exhibit. They're not being used for anything, but they are still good enough for touching. And so when pieces get embedded in the acrylic, they become secure. And it means that for their touch and learn, for their schools, everything, that these pieces now go out. So if you wanted to show them, like, that one is a squirrel foot.
Squirrel foot.
You don't want to think of it as the big picture thing.
It's a foot of a squirrel, Jeff.
It's a foot of a squirrel. But it is that thing. It's like, you can't hand over delicate bones.
No, of course not. I can just imagine kids passing around this bone of the foot of a squirrel.
Thing,
but now that it's encased, yeah, I would. If I were, geez, even now I would love it. But if I were 8, 9, 10 at a museum, this would be thrilling for me. This is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and although it does get kind of creepy because we've embedded a tarantula like this big.
Oh.
And then we've also embedded, I'm going to get the name wrong. They're going to be like, it's not a centipede, it's a millipede or something like that. But it was like the length of my arm and probably like 2 inches wide.
Creepy crawly.
Yeah. And we put them all in our safe because like we have a safe here just because we do a lot of high value items. So we just throw it in. And where it was sitting in the safe was like right when you walk in. So every once in a while you're distracted, you're walking, just, Okay, no, it's dead. It's really dead because we put it in acrylic, but it's still super freaky to see.
Unbelievable. Jeff, is that creepy or what?
I'm a little stunned, and I have to say this is perhaps this is the oddest thing we've seen on the show so far, and we've done a bunch of shows, but this may continue to be the oddest thing. But as I always do, I want to bring it back to why somebody who's watching us live, right now on the show, when we're talking about epic branding and marketing, think about what you can do with this type of product that's different. I mean, you're not going to necessarily go out to your yard and go grab bugs and stuff, but the fact that you can do that, and here's our company, our pet centipede, that we, most
it is one of those things.
Dogs, our pets, but anything goes, and I think again we always want to be encouraging people to think outside the box, whether it's embedding in acrylic like this or just in their marketing in general. But wow, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like Kate says, it's a creative approach that solves a real problem, and I think that we would forget if we didn't see this, it wouldn't. It wouldn't carry the concept. Now that we've all seen it, we've shared it here on Promo Corner, there might be some folks that are a little less hungry for breakfast or lunch, but the truth is they're going to remember this forever. And, there's an opportunity now to kind of connect those dots and to create some kind of an epic moment, a branding moment, a marketing moment. So I'm sure, Kate, you have hundreds of experiences.
Yeah, well, it's, both of you know from this industry is that just because it's one thing doesn't mean it's, just because you say you do one thing doesn't mean it's it. So we say we do awards because it's easy to explain our process. It's easy to explain what we do, but I would say awards aren't even half of our business most of the time. Like recognition as a category, yeah, but we also do OEM pieces, like for equipment manufacturing, we do like touch and learn, things like this, is that your clients aren't always going to need the one thing you say you do. And so having our manufacturing here allows us to be really creative and show off a bunch of stuff. And for this is
squirrel bones and longhorn beetles are super creative, right?
Yeah, well, so for the museum, they needed ability to show off their samples without destroying their samples, which are expensive.
Yeah.
And they needed an ability to, because also, pre-COVID, school visits were a good moneymaker. So how do you have an extra chance of engaging people at the museum?
Yeah.
Touch and learn,
Touch and learn. I love it. It's great. And the blog, for people who want to read more, they can go to your website, right, and see some of the other goodies. Okay, because you kind of categorized, I don't know if it was top 10 or top 15 or crazy weird shit. I can't say that. Yeah. Crazy stuff. That's and you probably have, if I'm not mistaken. That's what got me thinking about that. There were some some excrement that was rolled in a ball and embedded. Is that real?
Yeah, it was. Man's grandfather had worked at a track and this was from Secretariat, the famous horse.
Okay, so. A famous horse. Okay, woo. We had to classify that quickly. It was going to go into a very strange place. Brandon was about to come on and hit the kill switch. Okay, let's get this baby back on the rails.
As a marketing approach, I have to say, this isn't like the bugs, the weird stuff. Like a lot of them are one-offs, which, as we all know, we want more than one-offs. But as a marketing thing, this is what I tell our writer who does all this stuff is I want things that are sticky. I want them to stick in their people's minds and that they'll remember it. So this blog actually has gained a ton of traction for us. And I still this was actually a republishing from years ago, because to this point, I still get people going, remember that one you did? And I was like, yeah. And it's because it's a sticky thing. Yeah. And so when we show off, and this is what I was this is what I don't get about some people doing left breast logos. Left breast logo, cool, perfect, everyone does it. Why don't you show it off and show what else you can do? Same with when you're advertising yourself, do the weird, get into people's minds so they remember you being iconic. And literally we just did a weird one. So yeah.
I think it's fabulous. All right, let's go. We got more to show. This is a really cool episode, and I can't wait to show this because this takes it to a little bit more of a heartfelt piece. Same concept, but this blew me away. I saw this on your Instagram feed, and I was truly, truly touched. It's stunning in every way and so, so meaningful. So if we were 180 degrees into bugs and poop a minute ago. Now we are into the serious, and we are into the meaningful, and we're into the heartfelt touching. These were clock pieces, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm reading this, that were gathered by a son who quickly, before he had to flee Germany during Hitler's invasion, was able to grab some of these clock pieces from his father's desk. Is that true? That's the backstory here?
Yeah, and so his dad had always kept these clock pieces just in a box away, and he wanted a way to really show them off and keep them safe and not have it be one of those like, what are these pieces? Like, what is this for? And so what's neat about what we do is we can do a lot of like memorable pieces, like pieces. One of the cutest and one of my favorites was this man had brought in a cork, and it's like, and he's like, can you embed it? And we're like, yeah, that's not a problem. Like, here's some things that might happen to it, but it works. And we're like, why do you want to embed the cork? And on his first date with this woman, he'd saved it. And when they got married, so they'd been married for a year, and he gave it back. He embedded it in a cube with the text, "I knew."
Oh, wow.
And gave it back. And like,
I knew.
all of our hearts are exploding.
Yeah, right. And what a great way to memorialize or capture. I mean, I'm sure you guys have thought of this, but capturing time. You were literally embedding and encasing and capturing a memory or capturing time. Jeff, is that like touching and heartfelt or what?
Well, I'm actually, I've got a client. We're going to talk after, but
see, anyway, I knew the wheel. I could see him. The wheels were moving. He's like, "Oh, this is touching. This is real."
Know that I have a client or what?
No.
I do occasionally sell promo products, but in my spare time. Again, this is all about thinking outside the box, and whether you're going to use memorialize things in acrylic like this, I think a distributor, again, always bringing it back to the practical, is what can you do that is different, that might help carry along the brand story for your clients. I mean, obviously, Kate, you do, this product, but there are other ways this same type of thing can be done. So don't feel like, oh, I have to go buy thousands of pieces from Claremont, which I'm sure Kate would be happy and her family would be very happy. But
yes, please bring it in. We love it.
Bring it on in. But what's really great about what we're showing here is just things that people, including myself, what I love about the show is like, I'm looking at what people are doing. I'm going, oh, wow. I mean, I've been around a long time. Trust me. Look, I got COVID gray beard and I'm old and I embrace that. But people have been around a long time, and we still need to think outside the box, especially now, because it's just got to move beyond the stuff. And if you can go take and pull something that's personal about the company's history or something like that, and I'm sure, companies, any supplier make virtual samples, but tap on something that's personal and not the stuff, that's the win. And I so appreciate you nudging that in me, and I believe in our audience, so.
Let's take another look at that. Talk about just, man, that just grabbed my heart so fast. And Kate, thank you for sharing the story of the cork and the first date, and he knew. I'm like, I'm such a punk. My wife, if she heard that story, she'd just be looking at me like, she'd totally be giving me side eye, like, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, this is one of the things is that these are one-off recognition pieces, but Jeff, to your point, is think bigger on this. Like, think of recognition and awarding things, and mementos right now are really strong, and they're ways to mark passage of time, and they're ways to mark passage of moments. So we've done pieces where it was a publishing company, and they took one of, like the typeset pieces, like all the different letters, like the metal letters, where they used to like lay that out, and that would get stamped on the paper, and that's how it worked.
Letterpress.
Yeah, so they had one of those. So we embedded these letterpress pieces, and that went and so every member of that staff. And another one was a factory was closing, and they created small toothpaste tubes, like that was, it was part of it. So we embedded that for everyone who'd been part of that team, like as the factory was shut down, which you don't really want a factory shut down, but if you've been apparently all of their staff had been there for so long that they wanted to give them something to commemorate their time with them. And we've done other things where like we had a previous job where it was one of where their building was headquartered. The building got torn down, but it was known for this white marble. And so they took a sheet of that white marble. We got it cut into cubes, like to tiny little things. And every part of that got embedded in an award, and it was meant to be like, you're the cornerstone of this thing. So if you'd been really good on a
That's
project,
immediately where my mind went. It was like, I thought you were going to say building block or rebuilding, you know, or the foundation or something like that.
We've done it for other ones, for donors, when they had to tear down a new building to build a new, like for a science facility, it was known for this, like red bricks I just get a ton of red brick in here, and we have them and we cut them into bits and embedded it. And every VIP, every person who fundraised, like they got one of these pieces. And again, it's, you know, you want to be able to recognize people's efforts. And this was a really cool way to do it, in that, you know, we have pieces like from years ago that people still showcase of, you know, they're like, oh, this is what I've done. And
they're so meaningful. You have connected them to time. I love that you just brought up nostalgia. I love that you brought up this idea of moments that are meaningful, that are heartfelt. You've literally encased and captured time. I've never thought of that before. I know that's fundamental. You probably think of it every day, but for those that are watching the show, think about that for a minute. Think about the opportunities where the personalities and the emotions cross in a business sense, in a marketing world. I mean, it's powerful. It's really powerful. I know we could go on, and I don't mean to cut you off, Kate, but we've got like 10 more minutes, and I really want to speak to a few things. Jeff, you know, quit chattering. You got to slow Jeff down. He's like taking over the show. So Jeff, what? I want you to think about this, Jeff, since you said that you've been around the block more than a year. Think of these words and what comes to your mind first, Jeff, and then let's kick it to Kate, the expert. But when we think of the word recognize, and here in the US, we do spell it with a Z, Kate. Just want to keep you posted.
I'll take it.
What do you think, Jeff? Recognize. What comes to mind? What do you read these bullet points and you see this idea? What do you want to share? What's in your heart today?
You're giving me a quiz?
What's your favorite taco, Jeff?
Let's ask the audience. Maybe they can put in chat or what, you know, whatever it is. You know, let them answer the question. So, what do I think about Where's the slide?
You want to go back?
We want to read your notes on it.
I need the bullet points so I can figure out how to play off of those.
Well, let's put it to you this way. I mean, you know what I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get things that you've done and experiences where someone's paid tribute to you, or you had the opportunity to pay tribute to somebody else, whether it's one-on-one employees or whether it's big groups. How do you handle this? What comes to mind? What are some of your thoughts?
Wow. I mean, I'm thinking about, like, I just keep coming back to the personality and history of companies and recognizing, you know, whether it's company accomplishments or accomplishments, you know, of people within the company, milestones and all that type of thing. And so I don't think we do enough of this, you know, and I think that, you know, pre-COVID, when everything's just go, and business is falling from the sky and nobody's, you know, we're just taking all the business. I think, you know, really our industry was flourishing, and I think, you know, the economy was doing pretty good for the most part. And we don't really take the time to recognize, and maybe now is a time where we can do that a little more, especially during the holiday season coming up, where people haven't been able to go touch and see clients. I think, you know, this is just a way, you know, to recognize, you know, maybe it's even, and I'm just thinking this off the, you know, geez, don't get me off the cuff, but really recognizing the involvement you have with your client, you know, to recognize them. Like I would have never thought about that. Like, just show appreciation to them in whatever way you do that. It's like, hey, we've done business for X amount of time, or whatever that happens to be. So again, it's all about getting people to think differently, a different way you can connect with your clients, with the marketplace. God, I faked right through that, Jay.
No, that was beautiful,
like
dude.
I profound.
Jeff, I put you on this. I put you on the spot, and you should have seen Kate glow. She was like, yes, yes, yes. When you said, we don't do enough of that, Kate was like, that.
Well, okay, so this was my argument beforehand. Like, I think if you are a company that doesn't have a recognition program, my pet peeve is when I go to do presentations or I'm at trade shows and they're like, we don't really do awards. I was like, if you look around this trade show, there's more than me doing awards. So it means that there is value to doing awards. There's companies who are staying alive doing awards. someone else is doing your client's awards. So it's, if you haven't gone and asked your client, like, do you do a series of awards? Then yeah, like, then set it up for them, because there's so many financial reasons. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'd rather just give them stuff, like, and it's like, give them money. It's like, money's great, don't get me wrong, especially now, people really do need the money, but at the same time is that there's financial rewards to having a recognition program. Employee engagement is higher, employee satisfaction, so you're not losing staff members. And then client retention is that, you know, you've recognized your client. Like, think how many times you've gotten a gift from a vendor or a supplier and saying thank you for your business. Like, that strikes a chord. So why aren't you coming up with something unique and creative to reward them for being your partner, for being a great employee? And right now, recognition is so important. Like, people are having a really rough time up there on so many levels. And even if they're gainfully employed and super happy and love their job and dealing with work from home really well, that's one aspect. I mean, their friends are still losing their jobs. Their company's still going through a rough point. Their friends' companies, like, there was a stat where it's like 1 in 7 small businesses won't make it through this.
Right.
So, like, that's really tough to hear. And no one out there is going unaffected by this.
Right.
So why not take time to recognize good work, to recognize people with great ideas, for recognizing contributions, for recognizing, you know, just being good at your job right now.
Even
like,
just even just the little things, Jeff, like recognizing for tacos, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I don't mean to get silly here, but reality is, Kate and Jeff, you both nailed it, where you just show more appreciation, and of course, through awards and through recognition, but across the board. And we have wonderful suppliers that do that, not just Kate, but Kate is one of a top tier that truly gets it. She's a big deal, rising star, company's been around the block. They are super creative. But I just thought that this was great to pause on this and just be a little bit more serious than normal, to talk about that awareness, to talk about, you know, the word distinguish and what does that mean? And the fact that we're trying to build on gratitude right now in so many ways. And these, you know, a saw blade embedded inside of acrylic, you may not think of that. That's not my point. My point was just that was a cool graphic, and to that company, it's probably really important. So, you know, there are ways to be creative and at the same time show appreciation and pay tribute to others. So that's why I think I wanted to touch on this morning. Before we let you go, Kate, last, certainly not least, I saw this and I was really impressed. It looked brand new. It looked like it was a big deal. It looked like it had your fingerprints on it. Tell me about, what am I looking at here? I want the expert to tell me.
The expert. Oh, I'll take that. More compliments to add to the pile. This is our new line called Arbor. And what it is reclaimed wood with, it can be just wood pieces, or it can be with an acrylic component. And we just launched this because sustainability, I mean, Jay is part of our promo chat team for Promo Kitchen and has heard me talk about sustainability time and time again. Like, it's something that's really, like, I'm passionate about it. And so I was looking at our line and I was like, I think I need to get more creative. And I love the look of organic combined with the acrylic. Like, I think our acrylic is like the coolest thing. Like, we can do such neat things. Like, here's a piece I'm displaying off. But for us, I was like, well, why don't we just combine those two components into one? And we made the Arbor line, which is, it's a set designs, but again, everything it does is custom, and it's just fun. Like, I think everyone is, like, you had Vicky and JJR on talking about personalization, the power of personalization. Yeah. So why are you choosing a stock award? Like, choose something, like, choose a design, customize it to your, like, have your colors, have your brand, have your ideas and passion and mission statement all in one piece, and create it that way. And
truly to reflect the person and or the company. Like Jeff said, that business has a feel and a brand and a voice and a tone and style. So when you can pull all of those things, and like you said, to personalize it into a custom award piece that is also sustainable, that's going to check a lot of boxes for a lot of people. And it's not just about checking boxes, it's making a difference. And I thought, man, that is really cool. Not just blocks of wood, but sustainability is a talking point and a big part of what we need in our industry. So you did a phenomenal job there, Kate. And look who's back. Oh my gosh, it was kind of
scary. Here he is to pull the plug.
He was like that
he's here for tacos.
He was like that big tarantula that was embedded into the. Oh, that's not funny. You scared me.
You know what's funny is you guys have been talking about tarantulas, and it sparked something in my head going back to the first award I ever received, and I kept it. I played on my soccer team in 1991, and we were the Tarantulas.
Oh my gosh!
And that was close to him. See, this is what I'm talking about. Recognition.
He kept the trophy all these years. How old were you? 12, 15?
I don't know. I'd have to do the math.
Yeah, young. But this is, someone told me, they're like, oh, what you do are tangible pieces of someone's achievement.
Yeah,
and those those are so much more meaningful than we usually give it credit for, because a lot of times promo people can get caught up in the cool and don't think awards are cool. Awards are cool. Like, I think I do pretty cool stuff, but also like you want to think of with all of our stuff, especially right now, you want to think of what you're evoking. Like, promo is always supposed to be a surprise and delight moment. So what emotions are you trying to evoke with what you're doing? Like, are you looking to celebrate someone? Are you looking to just brighten their day? Are you looking to show their achievements? Like, always think of like, what am I getting out of this? Like, am I doing a $1 item, or am I doing a $1 item that's meant to take someone to a website, or meant to be on someone's desk, or to remind them daily, like webcam covers? Like, they're about security. So you want to remind someone about being secure. That's a great thing. Perfect. That's what we're going to do with this. So always take your promo and think deeper about it, because slapping a logo on something is not fun. We do a lot of cool stuff. We have very talented artisans, craftsmen, everything in this entire industry.
Craftsmen, artisans, makers. It's about that artistry. It's not just the promo swag. Hey, listen, I know we have things to do.
I've talked to you.
We went probably long. We've got tacos staring at us. Brendan, how do we wrap this bad boy up? I forget.
Well, no, actually, speaking of logos and speaking of all of the stuff that you guys do over there at Claremont, we had a bunch of comments on our Facebook feed, so I'd just like to go through a couple of those real quick while we're on live. So, first of all, Lori wanted to comment.
People were watching?
Yeah, we have a lot of people watching. Yeah, absolutely.
Family was watching. That's what it was.
We had Lori Moore say that she loves the taco diner background. So well done, Jeff.
Oh yeah, thank you, Lori.
Jessica wanted to give a huge shout out to Claremont for their logo. She said clean, simplistic, and easy to translate no matter what the size is. So well done on the logo. Danny Rosen chimed in and said, love the transition from shock and awe to meaningful and thoughtful. Well done, Claremont. And that was kind of a fun transition. I think you guys did very well there.
Again, but I guarantee you, they're not going to remember what I'm saying about awards. They're going to remember, so you did Bones, right? What other weird stuff have you embedded?
Yeah.
And just message me and I will tell you the weirdest. The ones that
I don't want to know. I'm sure it's gross and creepy. I don't want to know.
We have Ellie from Logo Jojo that wants to do something kind of fun. She said, could you put coffee beans in an award? And I said, I prefer my coffee beans to be ground, filtered, and hot. Amelia Model replied to Ellie as well and said, only if you could break it for emergencies.
Yeah, we've embedded. I mean, I always joke at one point, when like oil boom was happening, I joked that half of Alberta was physically in my plant, because we were embedding ore, we were embedding oil, we were embedding like soybean oil, like it was just kind of the spectrum. So we can embed coffee beans, we can take coffee and encapsulate it in a glass oil drop and drop that into the piece. Like, honestly, my search history is weird. Everyone starts it, this is a weird inquiry. No, honey, it's not. I've gotten weirder.
My search history is weird. Who would have known? Kate looks so wholesome and just, she's like this. She's like, mwah.
There's a dark side.
Someone is watching my search history, because you can buy a human skeleton online. Flour can be used as an explosive. Honest to God, what heat does oil explode? I know all of that, and it's very free.
Don't ask. Don't tell.
I'm telling you, and I also know where to get a bunch of dead bugs. So,
yeah, dead bugs.
It's weird all around.
On that note, how do we wrap up the show and eat a taco?
I think we all go tacos up, and Kate, I wouldn't bite into that one too hard.
No, it's not going to be as tasty.
I don't know if that one's going to work.
Tacos up. This was an amazing session. So glad that you were here, Kate Plummer, the VP of all cool things, bugs and bones at Clearmount, and you crushed it like a crunchy taco. So,
Thank you.
love it.
Thank you for having me on. I always love chatting this way and sharing all the weird and wonderful and awesome stuff that Clearmount does. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions, honest to God, if you want to know the weird stuff not fit for print, kate@clearmount.com, and I'll answer you back.
There you go,
That's
Kate
awesome.
at clearmount.com. Thank you so much. And thank you to Promo Corner. You guys, we appreciate the opportunity to be live on your block. Thank you for hosting us, Mr. Brandon. You are the amazing magician behind the curtain.
I appreciate it, Jay, Jeff. We will see you guys in not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. And Kate, it was such a pleasure. And I am definitely going to be reaching out for some more crazy stories. So we will see you on the next Tacos Live.